Hey everyone, welcome to Start Your Dungeons. I'm Bryce.
And I'm Adam.
And today we're doing another podcast episode. We haven't done one of these in over a year, maybe?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, so we were sitting here and we said, let's just talk about what we've been playing, what we've been doing, what we've been enjoying, because I feel like everything we do is always reviews for the show, but everything we play we can't always review, so we're just going to talk.
And sometimes we like to play things that we're not going to review.
Yeah.
It's not a new thing that we've played. It's something very old that we've had around in our gigantic collections for a long time.
Well, yeah, that's fair. Or it's like one of those things where, we review specifically miniature games and RPGs, and we did card games for a little bit, and it's like, if it doesn't really fit under there, how does it... Like, board games sometimes we do every now and then if they fit a certain vibe, but yeah, I think it can be hard to sometimes fit in a very distinct role of what we're trying to do for YouTube.
So what about, what kinds of games are you playing in terms of RPGs? Like, especially stuff down at our sponsor, Level Up Games. What kind of games are you playing down there these days?
So, big shout out. Right now what's going on, this is recording in October 2024. We are doing Friday Night Frights for October, which is a thing that myself and Wayne, who's the other Paragon at Athens store, threw together to basically do as every Friday night for all of October, there are two different tables running two different horror games. Which was a really cool idea that we kind of threw together because the Athens store doesn't really do a lot of these as much as the Duluth store, so we wanted to try to do something different. So we are running a bunch of different ones. We just ran Vaesen last night from recording. I got to play Vaesen for the first time. The curse is broken. I actually got to play it because the joke is always that Wayne runs it and I'm either out of town or running dealing with family emergencies, so... Got to play Vaesen. That was really fun. I think at some point we'll review that on the channel. I really enjoyed that one. That was a lot of fun.
If you've never seen that book before, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Pick that book up and look at it. It's beautiful.
There's a reason 2 years ago it won any for best artwork for the Mythic Britain and Ireland book. I mean, it's gorgeous. And Wayne brought the original Vaesen artwork book that the RPG is based on, which was really cool to kind of see. So I got to play that. I am prepping to run Heart, the City Beneath for that, so I'm excited to run that.
Game is so fun.
So much fun.
We've reviewed it on the show. Go back and listen to that if you haven't.
Yeah.
It's such a unique setting that just keeps giving you weird opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
If you want something that is not going to be the typical game that your player... I mean, it's definitely not typical fantasy stuff. It fits in this weird in-between pretty much everything, and I love it.
If you wanted D&D, but you wish that Twin Peaks was a part of it...
That's a good way to put it.
That's a really interesting way to put it, but I think that's a good way to do it. And the other one I'm running, which we'll review probably after I run it, Broken Tales, which is... a new RPG that came out recently. I feel like didn't get a lot, at least I didn't notice really high on the radar. I know it was at the Ennies last year, I think maybe artwork or something like that. Very interesting.
I remember seeing it.
Yeah, very interesting book. Like this whole idea of fairy tales where all the bad guys were turned good, but because in fairy tales there always has to be polar opposites, all the good characters are now evil. So you're playing as like the big bad wolf as your player character, but you're also fighting like, the Little Red Riding Hood who's now corrupted. So interesting kind of book. So I'm interested in running that. And I'm also running Terra Target Gemini up at the store. And I haven't been able to really get a good group yet to play that, but I am so pumped to play Terra Target Gemini, dude. That game, super excited for it. That's kind of it for me. I mean, that's 3 or 4 that I'm looking into or interested in playing. What about you? What have you been up to playing?
Right now, other than our... so we've been playing Pathfinder.
Got back on that train, and that's been so much fun.
The home game is Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and we've played a few sessions of that, one of them kind of a side tangent. So we're playing the Rise of the Rune Lords adventure path that was published for 1st edition, but I converted it to 2nd edition.
So good
And
too.
it's such a solid adventure. If you can find that either on PDF or if you can find the hardback anniversary edition of that, it's well worth the money. And with the kids, we have our own home game. We finished up our regular D&D starter box. They finished the Wave Echo Cave, like like all that stuff.
How many villains did they get to become their companions?
All of them. It's like, I don't think they killed anybody.
Oh my god, that's great.
They befriended pretty much everybody, and my son, who was playing a Dragonborn, like every now and then he would just be a little bit grumpy, and but he just wanted to grow wings and fly around. I'm just like, well, I guess that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And when you're playing with kids, like a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old, don't expect to get a whole lot done.
Right.
But we've been doing that as a Sunday game pretty much every week for the last couple of months, and we got through that. But like I said, they just befriended creatures and got loot, and that was pretty much it. They got rich, and now we've started playing Humblewood, which is also a 5th edition game, but it's made by see, who is it? Is it Hit Point Press? Yes, Hit Point Press. And I have the big deluxe box, the campaign setting box, and it has all the bells and whistles. It's got your standees, and it's a magnificent set.
Let's talk about things we're interested coming up for RPGs, because we actually have a few things we're talking about. I kickstarted, for those who don't know, Mechborg, which is the mechanical robot fighting set with the Mortborg system. Super excited for that one. And then also eventually, whenever our Lord and Savior Grant Howitt's book comes down from the heavens that is Hollows, I will definitely be playing that. What about you? Is there anything coming up you're excited for?
So the games that I am super excited to play, 2 of them I have in my possession because they were, one of them I bought at Level Up Games, Athens. One of them I got through Kickstarter, and then there's another one that I'm still waiting on from Kickstarter. So I still want to play Household, which we talked about last year.
Yeah, about our wrap up. Yeah.
Yeah, and Household it's an RPG, but it's fairies, and you're inside this big Victorian style house, and each room is like its own nation, and it's I got the regular edition of that game. There's now one that has just been kickstarted that it's 5th edition for Household, and I don't want that, because I want the way that the designers initially made the game. I want it to be what it was supposed to be.
Right.
So I want to play that. I got the special dice for it, and I'm really excited about it. I also, like, the other game that I have in my possession is Break, and it's kind of anime, but it looks like 16-bit, Japanese style,
Akira Toriyama Dragon Quest design is the perfect way to almost describe it.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like it would be an NES game or a Super NES game, and the book is gorgeous. It looks like an old instruction book.
Yeah.
But it's just packed full of things. My problem is that there's so much of it. It's going to take me forever to read enough of it to be able to play. So
you know what would have been great?
What?
Is if every character sheet on the back you flipped it over and it was like the old school fighting technique thing where it listed all the tag team moves you could do and shit.
Yeah.
That would have been such a cool design idea for all the moves you could do.
I believe so. And the third one that I'm really looking forward to playing is Obojima.
Ooh, yeah.
Which I ran for Free RPG Day because we had the Great Mushroom Hunt adventure for Free RPG Day. So if you ran that, you know what it's all about. But it's also an anime style, but it's kind of like Legend of Zelda plus Studio Ghibli kind kind of design. So if you like Kiki's Delivery Service and Spirited Away and all those kinds of things, it's that in a tabletop RPG.
I'm gonna add one more to my list that
Okay.
I forgot that I saw at Gen Con and is now available to buy at stores. Yzma's Bed and Breakfast. Have you seen this game?
I have not.
Oh, it is a bed and breakfast that the DM is running, and every character is an anamorphic animal that is trying to get over their trauma by making pancakes and gardening. And it is really, really cool. When I ran Pirate Borg at Gen Con, the room we shared was with the same company who did that, which I think is Possum Creek Games, if I remember correctly. Really, really cool looking, fun system. It was kickstarted. I remember missing out on it and feeling a little bit sad because it looks like if you're a fan of cozy video games, it's a cozy video game as a role playing game.
I am totally down for that.
And I know Level Up in Duluth has some. I think they may have the deluxe copies in stock, and I'm tempted to pick one up at some point because I think that would be a cutesy kind of different sort of game to try.
I'd like that.
Yeah. Let's move on to, let's talk about miniature games, because I feel like that's been exploding for me. What about you? Let's talk about, what have you been doing miniature game-wise?
So, the only thing that I would say that I've done is just playing Age of Sigmar.
I'm playing Spearhead.
Spearhead. For me, it is my favorite version of all of the Age of Sigmar products. Whether it's like any of the like Warhammer Quest stuff, Age of Sigmar Spearhead beats that. For me, like this is the best version of everything Age of Sigmar.
I would agree. For me, you'll see we published the Bushido review recently. I've been playing that a little bit. But the one that's kind of been that I've been playing a ton of and really enjoying is getting back into Marvel Crisis Protocol. I've really enjoyed that. I think I liked the game initially, but didn't love it. But the revamp recently of that rule system is really good. I've been playing Spider Foes and really enjoying that. So I'm liking that. It just was announced today. There's a new edition of Warhammer Underworld. So that'll be... It's great. I got a month before Worlds, and I'm about to have to learn a whole new game. It's going to be interesting. We're all new players. So.
But you're going to love it.
Oh, I know. It actually, if I'm being honest with you, it looks like Spearhead and Underworlds had a baby, and I'm very interested in that. So been playing a lot. I feel like I've been playing a lot of miniature games recently. I've been trying to play some big games of AOS. Enjoyed that as well, more than I did of like 3rd edition or even 2nd edition, which I everyone will know. I speak very highly of 2nd edition on the channel. So, anything miniature game wise you're interested in coming out or like picking up at some point?
So, like right now, I'm trying to focus on saving money to buy more Spearhead boxes.
That's fair.
And I mean, there's a like most of what I want to do with miniatures is not miniature wargaming. I want to collect some more miniature pieces that are, mainly like metal miniatures, things like Dark Sword miniatures, some of their stuff, very high quality metal miniatures. I want to get back into painting some of those higher quality, like usually hand sculpted miniatures because I miss those.
I do too.
There's don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the miniatures from Games Workshop. They are highly detailed and, they fit together and everything's wonderful. But then sometimes you just want a metal miniature that it's either in one piece or at most 2 pieces.
Yep.
And then you just prime it and paint it.
Yeah. Or Stonehaven minis, too, another really
Stonehaven are really good. And I would even say the Reaper minis, they are stepping up their game. So, sometimes people look at the older Reaper miniatures, especially some of the plastic, the PVC ones, and they think that they're not as high a quality as some others. Give them another look.
Yeah.
Because some of their sculpts more recently have really been impressive. I've been happy with those.
Better than Frameworks.
Better than Frameworks.
Frameworks.
Overpriced.
garbage.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it, but I mean, yeah,
It's a little bit overpriced. I'll say for me, I actually really want to play some Moonstone again. Like,
yeah.
that's been
I
sitting
always
on the
forget
shelf.
about Moonstone.
Yeah, like we have it on the shelf, and I bought into it again, and like they actually have a sale right now for all of October in Duluth, 20% off all their Moonstone products. I think they're trying to move some of it because it's not maybe selling as well as they hoped. And I actually today I was down there and I forgot to pick up if you remember the giant Lubart with the giant chain that
Yeah.
messed you up when we used to play. I wanted to pick him up and I forgot to. So I think I'm excited for that. I feel like right now the miniature game wise, like I have my fill, which is weird to say because before a while I was like, I want this and this and this, and
Yeah.
now I feel like I'm very much like I'm slowing down a little bit, and I'm
You
also
found your groove.
I found my groove, and I feel like Crisis Protocol has filled a good hole in my skirmish game level where I've been like, I don't want to go find other games now because I enjoy Crisis. Like I've literally not wanted to play other games where I've gone, hey, I know I was supposed to play you today in AOS, but would you rather play Marvel Crisis Protocol? Like it's been fun.
Just tricking people into playing it.
I'm not tricking you. It's a good game. I have always been a person who, even if I'm bad person because I get you into too many games, at least the games you play with me are good.
Absolutely. I've never regretted playing any of the games.
Speaking of Spearhead 2, also released today, there's a new Slaves to Darkness Spearhead, and it's all the Dark Oath models. So it's all the like warrior tribes.
Oh man.
And it's got the female warrior of chaos leader,
Yeah.
which that model is over 7 years old, and I argue it is still one of the best plastic models they've ever done for a human model.
Absolutely. I mean, it looks like it should come straight out of like a Conan movie or something. Just gorgeous.
Yeah, and I mean that's an AOS first edition model that came out like right at the end of first into the second edition, and like that model's beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's talk about board games, and I'll throw in TCGs because I've been playing a TCG recently as well. So, like, what have you been doing board game wise, TCG wise?
So, for board games, I have really gotten into doing Call to Adventure.
That's like
solo.
your game.
Yeah, it's my game. It's I like doing it solo. I have the core box and the Epic Origins box. And it's so fun. It's a fantasy game where the cards are tarot size. So if you want to sleeve them, make sure you get tarot card.
The hardest
sleeves.
one to find.
They're the hardest ones to find. I've got them all sleeved though.
Yeah.
And it's so fun, and I can throw it out on the table. I can play through an entire game, and it has a story to it. And then I just put it right back in the box, put it back on the shelf, and I come back a couple of weeks later, and then it's right back to, I can do my own little campaign. That's my favorite thing that I've done. Now, the other board games that I've been playing, didn't tell you about this one, but some friends of mine came over recently, and we started playing Imperial Assault.
Oh, okay.
It was one of the nights when you were at the shop, and I knew that you were going to be there, so I didn't bother you with it. But anyway,
I'm too busy.
you got a lot of previous engagements.
A divorced man is never free. That's just an honest case.
That's true. We were playing Imperial Assault. We played through a couple of levels of that and had a really good time.
Were you using the app?
No.
Okay.
And I know that everybody loves the app. And I mean,
I'm hit or miss on the app.
Yeah, like there's some people who love it. I don't.
We tried to run it together, and I felt like I ended up going. The bookkeeping of this was, and maybe it's just me because I'm not a big app person, but I feel like that was a first iteration that really has grown from other games probably and is better with some of their more recent product.
Yeah, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And you recently showed me Heat, and Heat is a banger.
Pedal to the metal, baby.
Oh my gosh, it's a racing game, and I all I could tell from the outside of the box is it's a racing game, but I didn't really know what to expect. They were able to create a deck building mechanic that feels like hitting the gas and the brake and shifting gears and going through all the turns, and it's so good.
I will say I've never, and I think anyone who's been a big board game person will understand when I say this. Racing games are hit or miss in the board game market. They're either really overcomplicated, or they just don't have the feeling of what you want. It's weird to say that a deck builder sort of / like card play board game made me feel like I was white knuckling turns in a Formula One car. Like, it really does feel like you said that. Am I going to stay at high gear and keep going faster this curve and take heat in my engine? Or am I going to slow down a little bit? But if you get too close, you might lap me. And I don't know, man. The design of it is so clean.
Yeah, they did such a good job.
Yeah. So I've been playing that one. That's a really good one. I bought the only copy they got for at the time of Slay the Spire, the board game at Level Up. I've played it once. Really cool game. If you like the video game of that, it's basically the video game as a board game, and it's a deck building video game, so it kind of just works, kind of in there. Really cool design, really well thought out. Also, one of the best things I thought, that box comes with sleeves.
Oh, what?
Because the cards are double-sided for heroes. So the front is its normal side, and the back is its upgraded side. Mm-hmm. So all the hero cards are sleeved in the official Slay the Spire sleeves.
Wow.
Which is, I think, a really cool idea that it came in the box with it. Really cool game. I think if you like deck building, kind of dungeon crawly sort of games, that one's a really fun. And if you like that, if you love the video game, it's playing the video game. I played it with some people who are big fans of the video game. I'm not as huge a fan. I played it a few times, but not as much. And they were like, "Oh, this is literally the same as it is in the game. Oh, or in the board game, it does this, and in the video game, it did." And it was cool to watch them. I think if you're a fan of it, you'll really enjoy it. Been playing a ton of Mountain Goats.
Yeah,
Mountain Goats is great.
We played that over here. That game is fantastic.
Yeah.
Such a simple idea. If you haven't seen Mountain Goats, please check it out.
I think, honestly, I'll say this. If it's an all-play game that is $15 to $20, 99% of the time, it's good. It's very, very good. As a company, they do really good games. They take a lot of interesting ideas where they actually, a lot of their games are Japanese board games that don't get published in English that they then redo the art with a little or repurpose the name of and sell it in English. So I don't know if Mountain Goats is one of those, but I know Dandelion, one of their big games for it. They have a new one called Things in Rings that I really want to play, where it's basically you have a bunch of items and you have 3 interlocking circles for Venn diagrams, and you have to figure out where items fit together in those Venn diagrams.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, it's a really cool kind of interesting, fun one. It was at Gen Con. I didn't get a chance to play it, but now it's at stores. I know Level Up has it. I wanted to pick it up. And then talk about something. I'm playing a TCG, which is a weird statement for me because I am not a TCG player.
Yeah.
I'm playing Altered TCG.
He brought it over here, and we played it a couple of weeks ago, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I haven't enjoyed a trading card game in a while.
When's the last one we've both really enjoyed in one?
I don't know. I mean,
I got into Star Wars, and it was okay. I feel like the meta for that game kind of kicked me out of it. It was fun, but it wasn't I didn't want to play that game competitively.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was fun, but it didn't wow me. Which is weird because I'll buy anything with Star Wars slapped on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I played Lorcana with the kids, and we just kind of stopped.
I just feel like I'm not a big enough Disney fan for that game. I feel like that's a game for collectors more than it's a game for players sometimes.
Yeah, it's a game to collect and not one to play.
Yeah.
I mean, if you enjoy playing it, love what you love.
And honestly, if you're a player who's good at it, I mean, there's money to be made in Lorcana, so.
I just, and this is going to be weird coming from me because I usually like simpler games, but there wasn't enough meat on the bones for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I like Magic. I think there has to be a midpoint between Lorcana and Magic in terms of complexity. That would be my optimal place.
Do you feel like Altered does that?
I think so. Altered might do that for me.
Yeah.
I just need to play it a few more times. But Lorcana's too simple. Magic, I mean, I can play Magic, but at some point, sometimes it gets so complicated. Some of the combos that people are pulling off,
Yeah, we played Commander a little bit, and
it's too much. It's just too much for me.
Which is funny, because when we played Commander, you were like, I built T-Grid, and I said, so you built the tier 1 best, like, Commander of all time, and then she was like, I'm not very good at this. And I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I think that game is a little, like, I'm always one of those people who ebb and flow into Magic back and forth, where I'm like, I love drafting so much in Magic that if someone's like, hey, you want to draft for $10? I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. You can have my cards afterwards, unless there's like a super expensive card and I'll keep it and sell it. But like, I just like draft. I feel like maybe we should do sealed. I feel like sealed maybe for Magic. Like with some of the stuff you have, like your old Theros cards, I think would be fun.
I love the older sets.
Yeah, simplicity, not a paragraph per card.
Right. I feel like I've aged out of Magic.
That's a fair thing, though.
Because what it is now is not what I used to like.
And also, can you keep up with it?
I mean, I can't afford to keep up with it. It's ridiculous. They're releasing so many sets. I can't keep up. There's no way to keep up. I mean, I would have to get a second job.
I will say, though, I am intrigued to see the last release of this year is Foundations, which is that Eternal Standard always counts in Standard. Supposed to be like a core set.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be actually fun for us to play. Maybe a little bit of some like drafts with, because it's supposed to be a very simplified game. Maybe that would be a good way for us to like kind of, if we wanted to scratch that itch, you know?
Still Hasbro.
I know, it's still Hasbro.
Anyway.
But I Altered's a weird game because Altered it's made by Equinox, French company. Decided to make a TCG, put it on Kickstarter. It has QR codes, which is a weird thing I think a lot of people don't enjoy, but I gotta tell you, man, I'm full-blown addicted to it. Like, I play it on Board Game Arena now and have fun with it. Like, it's very fun. It's a 39-card deck and a hero for 40. There's 6 different factions. There's 3 heroes per faction. The whole thing is, it's not about killing your opponent. It's about questing and like using your cards to basically have your hero and your companion expedition, and you're trying to get your hero and your companion across these different biomes to meet with each other, and depending on where they're at, you need to win in that specific biome in there. And I don't know, I'm like, I keep playing it, and when I first played it, I was like, this is the best board game I've ever played in a while. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels to me like, and this is a shout out to one of the greatest board games of all time. If they had packaged it like Summoner Wars, that game would have maybe sold like hotcakes.
Yeah.
But I think the more I played it, I don't hate it's a TCG, actually. I've actually enjoyed it more and more. It's got some weird ideas in it where, like, if you own a card, at some point you can have them custom just print it for you, which I think is a very interesting way to do a card game, where maybe it's a little bit easier for them to just be like, hey, you get one of everything, you can just buy copies of it, and we'll print them for you. You pay, maybe it's a little expensive to do, I don't know, but I've been really enjoying Altered. That's just like I said, I don't play TCGs. I refuse to, because I know they're a money sink. This one's not a money sink. $15 for a starter deck, and then you're full in. Like that's not tough.
Now the TCG that I'm looking forward to is the Gundam TCG.
Yeah, like Bandai Namco likes to make these things where they go, we made a new game, and I go, God, it's anime again. You got me by the ropes. Like,
I don't know what the mechanics are.
Yeah,
I don't like. All I know is that they released a trailer for it, and the cards look amazing, and the people playing it looked very happy.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly certain I would be too.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, they just put out, Bandai Namco just put out, I think they're the ones who did that new Union Arena game, which is really cool, where it's very similar. Do you know what Vice Schwartz is?
Yes.
So, Vice Schwartz is built to
it's like a universal.
Yeah, but Vice Schwartz, I think this is Vice Schwartz. It might not be Vice Schwartz. It might be, no, it is Vice Schwartz, not Cardfight Vanguard. Vice Schwartz is built where if you want to play in a set, you can only play against that same set. So if you want to play Spy X Family, let's say, the new anime that everyone loves.
Mm-hmm.
You can only play that. And the way they do that is they go, those decks can only play against each other because this whole set is balanced to play against
Right.
each other. Which is so smart as an idea, actually.
Because then everybody wants to buy everything from that set.
Yes. Or if you just like one set, you can be like, hey, do you have a Spy X Family deck? I want to play that set. Oh, you don't? What sets do you own?
Yeah.
I might have a deck for it. But Union Arena is kind of that same idea of like the Universal Fighting System, where they've said, here's a bunch of anime. You can play any deck against any deck, but whatever anime you pick is the only thing you can play from in your deck. So right now there's Hunter x Hunter, and there's Bleach. There's going to be Code Geass available. There's going to be Demon Slayer. There's a bunch of different, like, Black Clover, I think, got announced.
Ooh, Black Clover.
Yeah.
I like Black Clover.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
That's
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know that. I like Black Clover too. Like it's just we don't talk a lot about anime. So
yeah, we don't talk about anime. Every now and then I'll watch something and then I just binge watch it.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I mean, it's a traditional shonen, but it has some cool stuff to it. But so the sets are built so if you want to play Black Clover, but you're not forced to play Black Clover against Black Clover, you can play Bleach versus Black Clover kind of style, which I think is cool. And to me, if the Gundam game is very similar to that. I'd be intrigued. I want to see what it does because Final Fantasy TCG keeps growing and growing and growing.
Which I'm really surprised because it's just been a sleeper for so long.
Well, you know, the other not a sleeper, but it's been slammed. It's just hard to get prod in the U.S., but it's been a killer. Is the One Piece TCG, which is we reviewed on the channel a while ago, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I always tell people. If that game was readily available to buy, I would play it competitively. That's how much I think
it
that
was
game
fun.
was good.
It was so fun.
Great game.
But like, you don't see it.
You know who sells it in Athens? Dragon Star.
Target had some.
Target has the starter deck, but Dragon Star sells packs.
Dragon Star, okay.
Which surprise they can get it, but Level Up can't. They have always said they've struggled to get it, and that's been a problem for anybody to get it in English. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Gundam one, I'm like, oh no. Don't tell. He's like, you hit me right in the childhood with Gundam stuff. It's like that Kickstarter that I showed you that went, there's a Sailor Moon Kickstarter. It's like 90s Sailor Moon RPG, and I was like, all right, boys and girls, here's my wallet, just take it.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, speaking of board games coming out that interest me, are there any that do for you? Because there is one for me that I just Kickstarted that I'm actually super excited for.
I think I'm done on Kickstarter for right now, other than Obojima.
The Unmatched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles adventure set.
Yes.
That just dropped. If you guys are listening to this now, we reviewed Tales to Amaze, the first box. Mm-hmm. Pick up the teenage one. It's $80 for the core set. Comes with alternate promo packs. For $20 extra, you can get hero decks of both villains in there, so you can play a Shredder and Kang in the versus matches.
Oh yeah,
and I did that
because of course you
because
did.
I need Kang.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really cool. But I think that's it for board game stuff. I'm excited. Alter just announced that their second set is coming in January. It's a Ice Age theme, like Frozen set, and they're gonna have new permanents and things. So I'm excited for that. Honestly, guys, if you haven't checked out Altered, and you're looking for a game that's family friendly and your kids don't like Pokemon, check this one out because I do think it fits a very similar age vibe thing that I think works well for that.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about? Anything else we're playing or doing recently? I feel like we've just been busy. I feel like too, but it's been nice to kind of sit down and talk about what's exciting and stuff.
Yeah, life pretty much has gotten in the way of a lot of my gaming, but ready for things to slow down at work.
Yeah.
So that I can do some more hobby stuff.
And the holidays are coming up, so I feel like, eventually we're going to have times to play during the holidays when it's a little bit slower, maybe. And then also, it's already October. Our year in review is coming up soon for all the things. We've done a lot. We've done way more this year than we did last year. There's all kinds of exciting stuff. So, anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, I love doing the podcast episodes. I feel like they're just fun because they're a little bit easier than just reviewing something. We can just kind of shoot it out and just let it happen. But hope you guys enjoyed it. And